Hi folks, you're with Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this radio audio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the endless succession of Democrat globalist attack dogs from in the political camp or the legal political camp that they send to harass Donald Trump most notably, but really anyone who's instrumental in opposing the globalist project. It could be Rudy Giuliani or anyone who supported Trump. Now Trump's got a wealthy man, so he's more than capable of fighting back. But so it's much tougher for them to get him. But people that have much less financial resources, it's a much tougher gig for them to fight back, because what the globalist Democrats are doing is they're using the taxpayer funds, they're using the resources of the state, of the government, all the power and resources of the federal government to go after these people that oppose the globalist project. And so the resources they have are technically infinite, whereas the resources that their targets that they go chasing, the resources are finite, and even people that are reasonably well-to-do can be bankrupted by it. You have to be very rich if you're going to fight these people, given again that they're using the vast resources of federal and state governments to go chasing after you. So he's just one of the attack dogs that's in this instance a state-based individual. So I won't mention the name of the person, but it's a woman. Now I looked at she's been in the news sort of recently, so I had a look at she's gone doing the talk show circuit and getting very, very sympathetic interviews, by the way. I don't think she had one difficult question asked of her, but she talks like a sociology kid, some undergraduate in some third-tier sociology. She talks like that, talks like a child, and the way that she formulates and the level of complexity she injects into her responses suggests that she's got at best an IQ of 100, and that's probably a little optimistic, but certainly no more than that. Now, in top of that, she doesn't perceive, if you listen to what she says, she doesn't perceive that she actually is obligated to uphold or enforce the law or uphold that. She's sworn an oath to do this, but she doesn't believe she's actually obligated to do any of those things. She has a higher ideological purpose, and because she has this higher ideological purpose, she perceives it, this higher ideological purpose, then she's exempt from the laws and the statutes and the established norms. She's exempt from that because she has she's rescuing the world from fascism. So she's saving the planet from climate change. So the rules and things that apply to the rest don't apply to her because she has some higher moral purpose. And she's got that infantile way of talking, and even the look on her face is infantile, as she perceives complex issues or nuanced issues as being simple. But I'm saving the planet. I'm allowed to do whatever I want because, and so she's got that very childlike, schoolgirly type view of the world. Now, let's have a look. She's about 50 years old. Let's have a look at her background. She's a very ordinary student in a suburban high school. Absolutely nothing notable about her at all. But somehow, and this is the copybook way of how they create the activists that they control and that they later appoint into political positions or senior legal positions. The combination of politics and the legal industry are pretty key, because if they can control the politics and the legal decision-making process, then they really control most things. So, media would give the three-cornered level of control that the globalists have, and will fight viciously to maintain. So she's an ordinary student in a suburban high school. Nothing. Her parents are kind of working class. You wouldn't see them as, again, that they haven't achieved anything. They're not notable in any way. But suddenly, somehow, she gets picked in the international student exchange program. Now, and with well-to-do families, but in third world countries. Why would you pick that? That seems odd. That's like it's been selected for her. So she twice does this at high school and again at university. Both times it's a third world country where she's involved in the Che Guevara type activism. So she's doing that. Then she does some sort of degree in climate change economics or some shit like that, and just a very basic. This is in like a third tier university, but just a bit of basic few moments on the internet, and it's quite clear this is a course that no one ever fails. And she comes through with, magna cum laude, summa cum laude. I mean, she's the greatest according to the thing. She's got the highest grades possible in this. So it's very ordinary student that even today, again, you'd be pushing to find an IQ of 100 there. Somehow she comes through with flying colors on this bullshit sociology degree. Then she gets hired straight out of university to work for a very well-known brand name Jewish activist organization. But as far as I can tell, she's a Gentile. But the international student exchange program she's involved in is almost 100% controlled by Jewish activist groups and NGOs. And she goes straight into working for, as like an organizer and so on for the Jewish activist group that's very prominent, big brand name, lots of money at their disposal, a lot of political connections in the northeast of the United States. And she does that for a number of years, then gets given a gig in like a research organization that again is completely funded by Jewish activist groups. Then she comes out of that, has some sort of mysterious consulting jobs again for Jewish controlled organizations, and then is given organized in a political job, is given a seat in a local or a district, a state assembly. So it's given a gig in that. Again, all the funding for her supposedly comes from public funding, but again, the Jewish NGOs are very prominent in funding her campaign. She gets elected to that, and later on is appointed to a senior political judicial role. Now, if you look at the causes that she's heavily involved in promoting, mass migration, racism, and Hitler is everywhere, women's issues, super pro-abortion, marriage equality, LGBTQ, and so she's on board with pretty much the entire bevy of globalist, divide, cause social division and promote social division. So she's on board with all of that, and her comments on her online comments about very anti President Trump, and just parroting the sort of talking points that you would see on CNN or MSNBC or like that. So very much part of the. She's just a foot soldier, useful fool flunky for the globalist establishment. They've created her, they've made her, they've invented her, they've manufactured her out in the back room. Is this ordinary, simple-minded little soul out in the burbs there? The straight white. As far as I can tell, she's straight. The straight white woman who's fighting back against Hitler, and they've created her, they've invented her, they've radicalized her, they've given her the jobs, they've given her the gigs, they've given her the education, they've given her the fucking the college degrees, they've given her the book publishing deals. Everything is what they've created her for and installed her into. She'd be working on in some piss poor paid retail job in the real world, but in the fantasy world they've created for her and around her and put her into, then she's a prominent player doing their bidding. So why don't you do something to get Trump? You'll be stopping fascism. Yeah, hey, and off she goes. It's kind of sad to see, because you look at her at the interviews and think, geez, you're pretty dumb. You're a bit of a fucking moron. You speak like a child. You talk like a child. How can you be 50 years old and talk like a child? But there you go. So that's in why anyone would install her and do anything. But she's useful. They control her. She does what she's told to do. They can probably control her just through suggestion alone. I doubt they even have to give her orders. I think they can do. If you do this to Trump, you'll be stopping Nazis. Oh yeah, and then this stupid moronic child, with the mind of a child, think, I'm fighting back against Nazis. Oh, and I think that's probably the situation in this case. But I'm not even sure she knows what she's doing, or she comprehends the wider issues here. She seems to perceive the law and the regulations and the rules as just something that don't apply to her. She's got some higher ideological purpose. I'm saving the planet. And it's quite insane. She talks like you would expect an 18, 19-year-old sort of high school sociology kid who's waving placards at a climate protest. She talks like that. But there you go. But we just need to come to grips with the fact that the globalist machine has installed thousands, hundreds of thousands of these people all across the NGO network, and they're inventing and creating more every day. And there's armies of these people now, and they're all in HR departments, diversity departments, NGOs. They're in politics. They're in the public service. They're fucking everywhere, and this gives the globalists a reach and level of control. Not simply in pushing what they want to do, but aggressively bypassing the rules and the laws and the regulations, and convincing this army of ideological, insane little children that hey, the rules don't apply to you. You're doing something bigger. Very, very scary. You've been a Tacitus today, your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.